This episode of Walter's World Today is sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and Mousefan Travel are authorized Disney vacation planners and the recommended travel planner for all earsnet. They provide their signature services with no agency fees. To get a no-obligation quote, just visit www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, August 22nd, 2007, and this is episode 299 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hodgeberg of MGMstudios.org. On the show today, we have Mike Scopa of All Ears Net and MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Can you take me home with you? I mean, that song is nice, but they never stop.
The Living Seas with Nemo.
Yes, it's the starfish.
That's classic.
Classic?
Classic.
No, I mean, no, it never would have gotten that. That's good.
And also on the show today is Len Tessa, co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding. And also on the show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Howdy-ho, Matt.
And taking a page out of Len's book, I see.
Yeah. First I was going to get Van Halen tickets, but I decided to do that.
And also joining us for the show is Chris Eliopoulos of DesperateMinds.com. And Chris...
Desperate Minds?
Desperate Times?
I thought you said Desperate Mimes.
Okay, that's why we don't win any podcast awards.
Clowns that don't be talking.
Think we can get Lou to co-host? Oh, Lou. Come on, short notice.
DesperateMimes.com might not
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, at least he got my last name right, so that's about the only good thing right now, right?
There you go.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna do Scopa. You ready? Kermit the Frog here. Oh, no Muppets.
Muppets.
Waka.
It's Wednesday. We're answering listener questions, and the first one is from Lori in Southwest Missouri. Who writes, "Hi guys, I'm going to my first Mouse Fest this year. I'm planning on going down a few days early to ride my favorites and see the holiday events. I would like to devote one evening to seeing all the storytellers. Is there a touring plan or an order to follow so I can accomplish this? Thanks for answering my question, and I look forward to each of your episodes."
Good question. Well, Lori, there's really only two ways to tour a World Showcase, and that's clockwise or counterclockwise.
And you'd be on track to go counterclockwise. I mean, counterclockwise.
Why wouldn't you go counterclockwise?
Because you start with Mexico. Everybody knows that.
Absolutely.
You're not riding rides, though. Okay, so assuming you're not riding rides, then yeah, that's fine. And the interesting thing is, though, I don't know if we're going to be around dinner time. If you start, let's say it gets dark at 5:30, and she starts at 5. So she'll be in Mexico. She'll be where? She'll be in Norway when it's dark. At dinner time, she'll be where? Germany? Beer Garden?
Give or take.
I would get a dinner reservation at Beer Garden, then, Lori.
There you go.
And have a nice Christmas ale while you're there. Nothing says Christmas like a drunken stupor through a theme park.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Woo!
To most people, having a drink means having one drink. To Len, it means get drunk.
But it depends how big the drink is. Can I?
Oh, sure. Fair enough. Next email's from Michelle from Annapolis, Maryland, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Scopo, Len, and Mike. Even though my husband and I have been to Walt Disney World 3 times, we've never hit the water parks. We're interested in visiting Typhoon Lagoon on our upcoming 2007 October trip. Can you please tell me what attractions at Typhoon Lagoon seat 2 people in one inner tube? I have a small fear of water since I can't swim, so I'll only do the rides that accommodate 2 riders. Love the show. You guys are awesome."
What was the fear that she has?
Are there any?
Water.
She's afraid of swimming. Yeah.
Oh.
So she needs to go with someone. Len? Mr. King Cowabunga himself?
That's right. It was actually Hannah that is
like water is in the name of the park.
So, okay, so the rides that you can do multiple things.
Yeah, list them, Len.
Crushing Gusher. I know you can.
Yeah.
You can definitely have 2 or 3 seat, 2 or 3 seat rafts for that. What else could you do? There are a couple of other ones that Hannah and I did. Okay, so Gangplank Falls, which is a family ride. You're in a huge inner tube.
That's true.
And I think it fits 4 people. And here's the interesting thing, though. What they don't tell you this is, okay, so it's a huge solid rubber inflatable raft. It's not solid rubber, but it's really thick rubber walls on the raft.
Yep.
You have to haul it up the stairs. It's too big to carry. You've got to wheel it up, and I'm telling you, it's a workout. I did it. It's incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That's the problem with those with the rides that you can accommodate more than one person is the more people you can accommodate, the heavier the stupid raft is that you have to haul up the stairs.
I don't know how people could do it. And like moms, if you're there, with your kids, I have no idea. I mean, you'd have to have the kids hauling it up there because there's just no way you could do it. I think there are a couple of other attractions though where you could either. No, that's it. I think really it's Crush and Gusher and the. I think Mayday Falls you could do it too.
Okay. Next email is from Kyle, who writes, "Hey guys, just listened to your first listener question show. The second time that it came out yesterday. I was hoping you'd be able to get to this question soon. Just kidding. I'm happy that you answered my last question before Scopa died. That may not sound like a compliment, but considering Scopa's age, it's saying a lot.
Wow.
I was wondering
I'm going to come back and haunt these people.
At Haunted Mansion.
I was wondering if any of you had seen Ratatouille and your thoughts on the movie. I saw it last Sunday, 2 days after it came out, and loved it. I'm going to buy wait, let me rephrase it, considering this DVD is probably already out by the time you read this. I bought the DVD so I can watch it over and over. Len, you loved the movie, didn't you?
I love the movie, but
I did, in fact, love the movie. I saw it twice.
I thought it was terrible. It was not one.
What?
Not one good joke.
Really?
What was
the guy? I thought it was a great story. Forget about jokes. You're looking for jokes?
The best stuff they showed in the trailers.
They always show the best stuff in the trailers.
No, come on.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Superman Returns. They did not show the best stuff in the trailers.
You didn't think the scene with the when he's first in Paris and he's running through
la 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 la. I didn't see it. La la la.
The houses. You didn't think that was funny?
No, it was. There was not. I was waiting for the good part of the movie, and I never got to it.
Really?
I didn't. I was not impressed at all by it.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was just top of the. It was the classic 3-act play. It was the beginning, middle, and end. I thought it was great. Storyteller point of view, I thought it was a great movie. I don't need one of those movies where it's a punchline every two things and burps and fart humor every single time.
I can't stand that. Exactly.
I thought it was a really.
There wasn't one. Yeah, there wasn't one body fluid joke in the entire thing, which was just great.
No. To each their own.
And I ride dinosaur all the time and don't cringe. So whose advice are you going to take on this one, guys?
Next email is from Sean Neva, who writes, "Good afternoon, Mike, Matt, and Mr. Testa. I have to say this before I get to my questions. I always hear people's emails getting read after they've already been there or in mid-stay at the parks, but mine have always gotten read on time, so for that, thank you. Well, enough sucking up, as it will get me nowhere, seeing as I'm having to miss Mousefest and won't have a try to bum a free dole-up out of Scopa. Anyway, the questions I have for you guys are these. We're going down to see a few different restaurants in September that we haven't tried yet. I was wondering if you guys might be able to give me some pointers about what would be the best things to try there. No laughing now. My wife picked most of these, and she's pregnant, so there wasn't much room for discussion. Restaurant number 1, Coral Reef. I know you guys say it sucks, so all the more reason to let me know if anything is decent here.
It's actually interesting because everything we've heard about the Coral Reef lately says it's vastly improved, and I think, Scopa, you have a general comment about dining.
Well, one of the problems with me and seafood is that I live in New England, where the seafood is probably the best in the United States, so I stay away from places like Coral Reef or any type of fish down here. Maybe salmon I'd try, but other than that, I'd stay away from the fish down here because I don't think it's as tasty.
Scopa's a snob, but other than that...
So restaurant number 2 is the Spirit of Aloha Dinner Show. I know.
Oh my God!
Is anything good here?
No, don't waste your money, dude.
Oh my God! I'm glad you wrote into us,
dude. It's got naked people, alcohol, and fire, and they managed to screw it up. How do you do that? I don't know. Don't.
That was my Friday night. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, don't go. It is so bad.
Yeah,
it is so
I agree.
good.
Wow.
And P.S. Tell Len to quit skipping shows. The jokes, singing, and pops at Lou are always missed when he's out. Later, guys, keep up the great work. I look forward to the day that I hear Disney called and wants to pay you for their hard work.
Those are the only two dining questions that he had?
He did, but after those first two, he lost all his credibility.
Okay.
Funny.
Next email's from Lynn K. of Warren, Michigan, who writes, "Hi, guys. Just wanted to thank you for recommending Quicksilver Transportation in your broadcast. My children and I recently went to Walt Disney World, and we weren't the biggest fans of the buses from the airport to the resorts. I heard your broadcast with the owner of Quicksilver and decided to use the car service. Even though our flight was 20 minutes late, the driver was at the airport all ready to help with our luggage. He pulled the car around for us and only took 25 minutes to get to Port Orleans. He welcomed us to Walt Disney World when we crossed under the sign. When we pulled into the resort, he said, 'Welcome home.' There were no problems with our pickup either, although we were all sad to leave. I would recommend the service for anyone who asks. Don't forget to mention Scopa for that discount."
Nice.
Yeah, they're great. I actually did. I used them on my last trip based on your recommendation, and they were phenomenal. I actually went beyond and did the limo with this trip just to see how it went, and they were great. They met us right there, took my bags, even helped us out. I mean, they were just phenomenal. And even on the way back, as they dropped us off at the airport, had said, Don't go with the blue buses. Stay with us. So. But they were great. I recommend Quicksilver to anybody that wants to go on there.
There you go.
I've actually done the limo from them too, and this was before we had the show where they were on the show or anything like that, and it was absolutely fine. My daughter still talks about it.
Did they really meet you at the airport with your name on a sign?
They really do. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I had them actually because I got to Disney ahead of time. One trip, and Don and Hannah were meeting me later, and they picked Don and Hannah up at the airport, and picked up the luggage and everything, and Don said there was no problem.
Awesome.
Yeah, setting up you just do it online. You don't even have to call them. You can do it online. Actually, I called up and said, "How do I do this?" And they said, "Just go online and do it online." And it was much easier, and it was quick and easy. And they emailed me back a response. They were great. I mean, I have nothing but high praise for those guys.
Cool. Next email's from Nick, who writes, "Guys, why do you keep saying that everyone going to French Quarter should go to that certain spot? Was it Building 5 and Floor 1? What's so great about it? How can I request it if I've already booked my trip?" Scopa?
The reason why Len and I both have recommended Building 5 is that Building 5 is closest to the pool, closest to the laundry room, closest to the spa, closest to the food court, closest to the general store. It's the closest building. I guess Building 4 is also pretty good. I'm in Building 6 right now, and it's not that far away, but if I had my choice, Building 5, first floor, is the best building by far at Port Orleans French Quarter. And regarding his request, I guess he could. I guess I'll turn it over to Len regarding the room request. Len, 5 days beforehand.
Exactly. So 5 days before you're due to check in, call the resort directly.
Yeah.
And ask them for that specific room number. Where is it? This is French Quarter.
French Quarter. Yes.
French Quarter.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you call in, they're going to tell you, well, we can't promise you anything, but we'll try our best to accommodate your request, which means 9 out of 10 times they'll get you where you want. They can't promise you it, but,
they'll do their best.
They'll do their best.
The number to call is 407-934-6000.
Great.
Cool.
Next email's from Rashida Jones, who writes, "Hey, guys, I love your show. I listen very often while I walk. My question to all of you is concerning off-site hotels and their transportation to the parks. I'm planning on traveling late November or the first week in December, and I was wondering which hotels do you believe has the best transportation system to the Walt Disney World parks? And are there any hotels that do not carry a huge price tag but have a good system of transportation to and from the parks? Any suggestion will be considered. I'm just trying to pinch and save where I can. Thanks for a great podcast, guys."
So much for my yacht club recommendation.
I would say, Len, I think yacht club. Nice, Chris. I would say that you have the thing to do is call around and ask if their bus transportation is shared with other hotels, because that's the telltale sign of bad.
I think the downtown Disney resorts all share a Mears bus service, don't they?
They have their own bus service, but it's about a step down from Disney's, in my opinion. Disney's bus transportation system, that is.
Yeah, I think we, I always drive or stay on site, but I think some of the researchers, the last time we stayed at the Hilton, did it, and they said pretty much agreed with what you just said, Matt, that it wasn't Disney, but it wasn't, like being completely off-site, like at a Days Inn or something like that, where it's twice a day.
Yeah. I did,
service.
I stayed 2003. I stayed at the Ramada in Eastgate, and I used their resort transportation, and it would start there, and then it would pick up a few hotels down the street, another few hotels, and it's 3 or 4 hotels before you even start going to Walt Disney World property. And like you said, Len, they've got 3 or 4 pickups in the morning, 3 or 4 pickups in the evening, and if you want any other times outside of that, you're out of luck.
Right.
So it's a problem. I would again, look around and ask if their hotel transportation system shares with other hotels, because when you're doing that, you're already it's a big problem right there.
And really, I wouldn't go beyond the downtown Disney hotels.
With depending on bus transportation.
Right. I think it's just too risky.
Next email is from Steve Russo, who writes, "Hey guys, I'm a big fan of your podcast and usually agree with your advice. However, I feel you need to be taken to task for your suggestions during the June 6th podcast. Listener wrote in asking about the possibility of making advanced dining reservations. You gave suggestions on using several different phone numbers, names, etc. that would allow one to beat the system, even suggesting it was a good idea. Why would you do that? Don't you think it's difficult enough to get a dining reservation at Walt Disney World without advising folks to make multiple ADRs for each meal for their stay? Come on. One of the reasons there is so much difficulty now is people that make ADRs do not take the time to cancel and then are no-shows. The system today, made horribly wrong by dining plan and the free dining plan, will only get worse with your encouragement. I heard Lon say he has a problem getting ADRs earlier than 8:50, and that conflicts with fireworks. Part of that reason may be 10 to 20 ADRs between 6 and 8 p.m. that will go to waste because of the parties are dining elsewhere. My suggestion is that we all do it right, be a little less selfish, and make only ADRs we intend to keep."
Did we actually recommend making multiple ADRs?
I don't remember that.
For the same night?
Glenn's fault. Glenn did it.
I'll take responsibility, but for it.
This is just like when Scopa testified in front of Congress about the Contra. I don't recall
exactly
that conversation.
I think he was talking about the 1812 war. Right?
Exactly. It was the. I mean, here's the thing. Even if 10 or 20 people didn't do it, the demand for dining is so great that it wouldn't matter. My guess is that the demand is so much larger especially for those decent dining times like this, 5:30, 6 p.m. that there are probably many dozens of people who would get there ahead of time. I don't know that it has much impact. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I mean, I think Steve's got a point, but I don't think there's that many people doing this. Really, I think it's really a minor thing, but I can understand that. I mean, I don't think I haven't done that in a while, but sometimes I do make maybe 2 reservations at the same time.
Do you really? 2 different parks or 2 different restaurants? 2
different restaurants.
You're the one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm really clogging up the whole system over here. Next email is from Bridget Swart, who writes, "Hello, Matt, Mike, and Len. This is from Bridget from Unionsville, Virginia again. First, let me apologize for being a bit long-winded. I also wanted to tell you that your podcast has been so helpful in my pursuit of losing weight and getting in shape. After having 3 children close together, I found myself in the position of needing to lose about 30 pounds. So I'm trying to lose weight before my Disney trip in November this year. The only good thing about getting on the treadmill is that when I listen to the podcast, that's what keeps me moving, so thank you for that."
Awesome.
On to my questions. My first question is for Len. Let me just say that in planning for our trip in November, my very anally organized personality has come out, and I'm really enjoying touringplans.com and the unofficial guide. Ding, ding! I love the idea of touring plans, and I'm planning my days out as best as I can using touring plans. But here's my issue. We're traveling with 3 young children, and only one of them will be old enough to ride the quote-unquote thrill rides or those with height restrictions. In all 4 of the parks, the touring plans with young children rarely include the major thrill rides, and when it does, they are the first thing in the morning. Even if I use the adult touring plans, which are a bit more comprehensive, they also include those rides first thing in the morning. Here's my dilemma. We do have young children, but we want to do everything in the parks. We are lucky enough to also have parents with us, so they will be around to watch the younger 2, while my husband and I take the older ones on the big thrill rides. I want to incorporate this into our day. However, my parents are not early risers, so they will not be there at the beginning of the day. In fact, they will probably not show up until about 11 a.m. We would like to ride everything we possibly can, but would like to avoid having to do the child swap. So, can you tell me how to incorporate these into the day without waiting too long. FYI, we have 2 days at the Magic Kingdom and 1 day at each of the other parks.
So they've got so they want to see all of the attractions in the Magic Kingdom
without doing ride swap.
Without doing ride swap, and the adults and the parents aren't going to be there till later. The grandparents aren't going to be there till later morning. Okay, so we actually have on the website what's something called a Happy Family Touring Plan, which is what I was going to suggest. And what that does is it allows kids who want to ride thrill rides, like a parent to take the kids who want to ride thrill rides, to do that, while another parent takes the kids who are too young or don't want to do something else on a separate track. So it keeps the family together most of the day, but at times the plane has them split up into two groups to go see, the age appropriate rides, and then they come back together for things like lunch and dinner and stuff like that. And of course there are a lot of attractions that everyone has in common. Like everyone can ride Pirates, so part of the plan includes like Adventureland and Frontierland together. I would suggest that now. Is it just her and the kids, or is there a husband involved?
I believe there's a husband.
Okay, so that's one option. Is if the
there's a husband.
If the parents can split up just for the first couple hours of the morning and follow the plan until the grandparents get there and take over the small children, then they can follow the Happy Family plan that way.
Bridget writes, thanks again for all the great info and answering my question and the amusing banter. Oh, and FYI, I do listen to Lou's podcast as well, and let me put it this way, I'm writing you all about my questions and not him. That's
so
right.
I would say that. So the other thing I would say, Bridget, is if you wanted to break that one-day Magic Kingdom Happy Family plan up into 2 days, do Fantasyland, Frontierland, and Liberty Square one day, and maybe part of Adventureland, and do Tomorrowland, Toontown, and the rest of Adventureland on the other day. In that order.
Next email's from Ryan from Groton, Connecticut, who writes, hello, gentlemen, and Len. First off, thanks for the great info on the not-so-scary Halloween party last fall. The touring plan worked wonderfully at Adventureland, Frontierland, Haunted Mansion, and Catch Second Parade. This is actually my reason for writing. The Haunted Mansion is closed for rehab until September, but other than the cryptic sign that appeared on the construction wall door and the article in the June 9th Orlando Sentinel, the details have been far and few between. I do know they will conduct upgrades to the audio and effects, thank God, but do you think anything else will be done, and do you have any idea what the rest of the rehab will be? Even if you don't, that might make a good idea for a podcast, what we would like to see for the Haunted Mansion rehab. Personally, I would do something with the Spider Room, which is a big waste of space. Thanks, guys, and keep fighting the good Disney fight.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the spiders, huh? We're getting staircase east. Was it Escher?
Kind of a staircase.
Yeah, I heard. I heard it's exactly what I heard. I heard some sort of Escher effect and a new scene, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Escher effect?
Yeah. Well, the staircases are going to go in multiple directions. They can get rid of the spiders, from what I hear. And
depends upon how you look at them and from what angle they're looking. They're going to look different. And you've got the floating head. Madame Leota's going to be floating. There's also something going on in the attic, I guess, with the
new bride, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and possibly something in the transition.
Surround sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. They're also doing something to the outside of the building. They're really going.
So yeah, new show elements. I heard a new scene, a completely new scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Len Testa getting burned in effigy. Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
And they'll have little buttons that you choose the ending.
Exactly.
Everything's just turning into Horizons at the end.
Exactly. Or well, you saw Matt. You saw the T-shirts where you add the name Rocket in front of the attraction to get the new.
That's right. It's like adding the word I, like iPhone, iShow, iNewell.
Rocket Mansion.
Funny.
Next email is from Chloe, who writes, hi, Matt, Mike, and Len. I was just listening to your recording of April's live show, and one of your callers was talking about pedometers. My family uses them. I'm a teen, and I go with my parents, but it's fun to see how far you've walked, even if it isn't motivation to walk any further. We found our pedometers at our local Walmart, and they cost about $3.50 each. Yep. They're small, come in different colors, and have mileage steps buttons, which can switch you back and forth counting steps and miles, and a button to reset that is down in the plastic, so you have to use your fingers. There's no automatic resetting like Matt's does. The one thing to keep in mind if you're looking at mileage on your pedometer is that even if you set the number of inches on your stride properly, your stride won't always be the same in Walt Disney World. All the crowds, people stepping in front of you, causing you to sidestep or taking smaller steps. All those things can skew the number of miles you've walked. Anyway, keep up the great work on the show.
Cool. Yeah, but it's the average stride that we're looking for.
Yeah, I've always just found that...
You just adjust down a little bit.
2.5 feet.
I know, I had one that came in a cereal box, and it sucked.
One that came in a cereal box.
You don't expect quality out of that one, right?
You're right, I paid like $3.50 for that damn cereal.
Cocoa Pebbles is just not really working for you, huh?
Count Chocula has let me down once again.
Count Chocula.
Silly rabbit.
Silly rabbit.
Hey, any step that would make the kids more tired and go to bed early is good for me.
Exactly. Oh, Lord.
We have time for one more question, Mr. Newell?
You got time for at least one.
Oh, see how he's trying to imitate me, Mr. Newell?
Let's find the question.
Mr. Newell.
Thank you, Mr. Tester, for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
Well, next question is from Brian Ridout of Toronto, Canada, who writes, "Hi, guys. Like everyone else that sends you my questions, I love the show, which, strangely enough, might explain why I listen. We're going to Disney World at the end of August 2007. Whew, just got this one in. Our package at the Polynesian starts on August 26th for free dining, but to save money on the airfare, we arrive the previous day. We have booked into Animal Kingdom Lodge for one night to try it out, and I have a couple of questions for you. Is there any way to activate our 9-day park hopper tickets the day before our package at the Polynesian starts? It would be great to visit a park on the day we arrive, and buying one-day tickets just doesn't seem to make sense."
No, because he won't get his tickets till he checks in, right?
Yeah, if they're tied to his
Yeah.
reservation.
So the answer is no.
Brian also writes...
Is it time for your Metamucil? What was that? There's no
Wow.
Wow.
There you go, Mike. We don't have time for
And
this
It
chat,
is
right?
a moving experience, Len, I must say.
And you and you wonder why we don't win podcast awards.
Next, Brian also wants to know, failing this, how early can we visit the Polynesian on the first day of our package to pick up the room key tickets so that we can visit a park and use our dining plan? We would love to be able to be at the Magic Kingdom right when they open. Can we show up at the Polynesian at, say, 7:30 in the morning to get our keys and tickets and then drop back later in the day to actually check into our room? Will they store our luggage while we visit in Magic Kingdom in the morning?
The answer is yes to all.
Yeah, you could go up there. I mean, I guess you could show up there 12:01 a.m., right? The next, when it becomes the next day.
Your room may not be ready, but
Oh, no, for sure
probably
not.
check in.
Yeah, they'll definitely take your luggage, and they'll definitely give you your tickets and your keys. And your keys, actually, they'll give it to you, and once they have a room assigned to you, that key will be activated for that room, so you don't have to go back and wait in line later.
They've been very good on this trip. We checked into Pop at around 10 o'clock, and our room was ready. And we checked into Port Orleans at around 10 o'clock, and our room was ready. So they've been pretty good with the scheduling of the rooms.
Cool. One last question from Angela from Ohio, who writes, I have a question concerning an upcoming trip in July of 2015, or insert closest year here.
Why?
I have 4 different tickets that my family and I used in spring 2006 for a spring break trip, and I'm going down with some friends in July, insert year here. I just graduated from the Ohio State University and hope not to spend too much money in Walt Disney World. My question is, do you all think I'll be able to use my family's tickets even with the biometrics in place to avoid having to pay out some extraordinary amount of cash for a single ticket with 5 days on it? All the tickets have no expiration date and the deluxe park hopper option. Look forward to hearing from you before I take my grandchildren to Disney World. P.S. Wait, hold on. P.S. All hail Testa.
Wow, that's awesome. So, whose tickets are they?
Who's that, Len's mom?
Really?
It's his
Thanks,
parents.
Grandma. Whose tickets are they originally?
Her parents. Angela's parents.
Okay, Angela's parents, and she's going to use them on kids?
On her and
Herself,
her friends. Right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's right, Chris.
Is it the same family name?
Doesn't say. I would assume so.
Her parents.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, but
Len's a dog.
thank you, Chris. I was just trying to think of whether anyone else.
Men's a member, right? Men's a member.
True, I actually am in Mensa. Whether anyone else in the group had the same family name.
Never believe him.
That's gonna be difficult to pull off.
Couldn't she take all the tickets, present the tickets to guest relations, have them upgraded, and then, when they ask for ID, she'll show her ID, which matches her family's name, and then she'll dole out the tickets to her friends?
I don't think so. I'm thinking, I was with you on that, Matt, thinking that, she could do that, but then she wants to use all 4, and the only thing I can think that she could do is take those tickets and say, hey, I want to put them towards a new Magic Your Way ticket. I just don't think that she'll be able to dole them out to her friends and have them use them.
Great.
I don't know. Great.
Well, you can give it a try. I mean, there's nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine.
I'd give it a try. If
It doesn't hurt
work, then yeah.
I can hear Newell tapping his foot over there. So we've got to wrap this up. And this episode has been sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and Mousefan Travel are authorized Disney vacation planners and the recommended travel planner for Mike Newell. Oh, wait, all ears net. Just kidding. They provide their signature services with no additional agency fees. So again, no obligation quote. Just visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com. And if you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website, www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Chris Eliopoulos, I am Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.